unlocking the secret underground workforce, how to fill your garden with earthworms naturally. There's a hidden workforce beneath your feet that has quietly shaped civilizations, sustained ancient farms, and determined whether soil thrives or, just dies. Long before modern fertilizers and synthetic solutions, fertile land depended on one simple, powerful force: earthworms. Farmers who understood this had richer harvests, healthier crops, and soil that improved year after year instead of degrading. Today, most gardeners overlook this entirely, chasing expensive shortcuts while ignoring the natural system that has worked for centuries. What if you could transform your soil almost overnight? What if, by tomorrow morning, your garden could be crawling with life, actively rebuilding fertility from the ground up? This isn't hype. It's a method rooted in soil biology that works with nature instead of against it. And once you understand it, you'll never look at dead soil the same way again. Before we go further, make sure you like this video, share it with someone struggling with poor soil, drop a comment about your gardening challenges, and subscribe to Garden Smart for more practical, no-nonsense methods that actually work. Now, let's get into it. The ancient truth about soil fertility. Healthy soil has never been about what you add, it's about what you enable. Across history, the most productive lands were not constantly fertilized, but consistently covered. Forest floors, river valleys, and traditional farms all shared one trait: organic matter resting on the surface, slowly breaking down. Earthworms are at the center of this system. They don't just live in soil, they build it. As they move, they create channels that improve aeration and drainage. As they feed, they convert organic matter into nutrient-rich castings that plants can immediately use. Without worms, soil becomes compacted, lifeless, and dependent on external inputs. Why most gardens fail to attract worms. Many gardeners assume worms just show up if the soil is good. But, in reality, most gardens actively repel them. Bare soil dries out quickly, heats up under the sun, and loses the moisture worms need to survive. Adding raw kitchen scraps or manure directly onto dry ground often makes things worse by creating heat and instability. And worms are not drawn to scraps themselves, they are drawn to the microbial life that breaks those materials down. If the environment isn't right for microbes, worms won't come. So if there's one principle that truly transforms lifeless soil into a thriving ecosystem, it's this: always keep the soil surface covered with moist, decomposing carbon. Carbon-rich materials like cardboard, dry leaves, straw, or wood shavings, they act as both shelter and food for soil life. When these materials are wet, they create a cool, stable microclimate where bacteria and fungi can really flourish. Worms pick up on this activity super quickly and move right in. And honestly, this is not a slow process at all. When you do it right, you can see results within just a few hours. Now, why does cardboard work better than almost anything else? Well, cardboard stands out because it combines several powerful benefits all in one material. It holds moisture exceptionally well, blocks sunlight to suppress weeds, and breaks down slowly, feeding those fungal networks that worms depend on. Unlike loose materials that tend to dry out quickly, cardboard maintains a consistent environment. It's kind of like a sponge sitting right on the soil surface, keeping conditions ideal for microbial growth. That's exactly what makes it so effective at attracting worms fast. Just remember, the key is to use only plain brown cardboard. Be sure to remove any tape, labels, or glossy coatings. Keep it simple and natural. Alright, so how do you actually apply this method for overnight results? Success really depends on proper setup. You'll want to start by thoroughly watering your soil so that moisture reaches at least 10 to 15 centimeters deep. This step is absolutely critical because worms just won't move into dry ground, no matter what you put on top. Next, lay large sheets of cardboard directly onto the soil, making sure to overlap the edges so no light gets through. Then, soak the cardboard completely until it becomes soft and dark. Dry cardboard actually repels worms, but wet cardboard invites them in. After that, add a layer of mulch about 5 to 8 centimeters thick. This could be straw, dry grass, or even partially decomposed leaves. This top layer locks in moisture and keeps everything stable overnight. Okay, so if you want to accelerate results, a small amount of nitrogen can help, but it really has to be done carefully. Use a ratio of 1 part nitrogen material, like aged manure or fresh grass clippings, to 4 parts carbon. Just spread it lightly over the wet cardboard and never directly onto bare soil. Then, cover it immediately with mulch. This feeds microbial activity without creating heat or any unpleasant odors. Worms will actually respond to the microbial bloom, not the nitrogen itself. Once everything is in place, the transformation begins really quickly. Microbial activity increases, moisture stabilizes, and the temperature under the cardboard becomes just ideal. Worms sense these changes and start moving upward through existing soil channels. By the next morning, lifting the cardboard often reveals a dramatic increase in worm activity. Areas that seemed lifeless can suddenly host dozens or even hundreds of worms per square meter. The real power of this method isn't just attracting worms, it's keeping them. Consistency is really everything. Soil should never be left exposed again. As the cardboard breaks down, just keep adding organic mulch to maintain coverage. Over time, worms establish breeding zones, and their population stabilizes. At that point, you don't need to attract them anymore. They're already home, continuously improving your soil. Why does this beat worm bins every time? Well, worm bins concentrate worms in one place, but they don't actually integrate them into your soil ecosystem. This method does the opposite. It brings worms directly into your garden, where they can improve structure, cycle nutrients, and support plant growth in real time. Instead of transporting worm castings into your garden, you're producing them exactly where they're needed most. This is how real soil fertility is built, through simple, consistent practices that work with biology instead of overriding it. No expensive inputs, no complicated systems, just a deeper understanding of how nature already operates. If you found this useful, make sure you subscribe to Garden Smart, share this with someone struggling to revive their soil, and leave a comment about your results or questions. The more people understand this, the more gardens we turn from lifeless dirt into thriving ecosystems.